Welcome to the Jay and Brian Show, the fastest growing talk show podcast in America. Join Jay and Brian for unscripted, thought-provoking, and entertaining conversations about life, business, and the world we live in. Tune in as they spotlight influential communicators, business leaders, and personalities from sports to entertainment. Here now, Jay and Brian. Welcome back to the show, everybody. We've got our good friend Chris Dunham in the house today. He is known as the real estate guy in the East Valley in Phoenix, Arizona, and a busy agent at that. Chris, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Hopefully keeping busy.
I'm trying to keep busy. It's a weird world right now.
Super easy right now.
Yeah.
Right?
No, it's a pipeline busyness, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Pipeline busy.
Right.
You know.
Yep. You just got to keep marinating that pipeline.
You do.
You got to get new things coming into the pipeline.
You do have to get new things coming in the pipeline. So that's the grinding to get new things into the pipeline, to build the pipeline.
So tell us more about you. Like, how long have you lived in the Valley?
I've been in the Valley since 1973. Moved here from a small town in Illinois because I was going to die if we'd stayed there because my asthma was so bad.
Oh, wow.
So we chose Arizona over Colorado because they were tired of the cold.
Okay.
Right? Now it's the worst place in the country for asthmatics.
And allergies. Yes, it's
Right,
horrible.
straight up.
And you know why that is all those people brought all those plants with them when they moved here from the Midwest.
Yes, they did.
Yep. And now they're blooming and ferocious.
There's no
right
shortage of dust in the air.
No.
I'm a mountain biker. And,
right on.
And so it's always a thing.
It is.
Yeah. Especially mountain bike season when we're racing and it's just dusty.
Yeah. All over the Valley mountain bike racing?
Mostly following my son who's racing.
Okay.
I actually am in the Dawn to Dusk race coming up in December.
Aravaipa?
Aravaipa?
Aravaipa does bike races as well as running.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's out of McDowell.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
Just a group of friends of mine and I
Cool.
got together and formed a team. And so
nice.
Let's do it.
There you go. Yeah, Aravaipa has races at McDowell Mountain.
It's Zia Rides is the organizer.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Xterra does them and so does Aravaipa. So if you ever want to branch out,
cool.
your son probably knows.
I'm sure he does.
Yeah, because the bikers, the mountain bikers ride typically the night before the Aravaipa runners go.
Oh,
So you have like Insomniac trail runs in the
So
summer.
it's like a cross country run.
Kind of.
Okay.
Yeah, like we do in the summers. Insomniac because it's nighttime because it's so hot.
Gotcha.
So we'll start like at 7 o'clock at night. So the night before usually is the bikers.
Oh, okay.
And then in the winters, when it starts cooling off, then Xterra, like the vehicle Xterra, they do runs in the morning to where the day before, typically they'll do the bike side.
Okay.
Just
Very
you
cool.
know, yeah.
Learning something new every day.
Expand, Brian.
I've only lived in the Valley for 20 years.
Only. That's a long time.
It is a long time. I came from California,
Right on.
but I love it here.
Right on.
Yep.
The California kind of sucks.
I don't see myself ever going back.
No. I like to visit there. We were there in early October, which was fun.
Yeah,
you
we're
know?
big visitor fans.
Yeah.
Big visitor fans.
I did
We'll be
lose
there a
my
couple
hookup
times,
though. You know, my parents moved out here about 4 years ago, and
There's no landing pad there
so
now.
now we don't.
Oh, so you got to rent something.
Now we don't have free digs out there.
Yeah, that sucks. Airbnb.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
It's good for something.
Yeah.
So Chris, 20 plus years in real estate in
23
Phoenix.
actually, yep.
23 years.
Yep.
That's a long
Yep.
time.
I'm 52, so almost half my life.
52.
Jay, do you remember he corrected us?
I did correct you.
in
earlier.
pre-production.
Yeah, well,
23.
yeah, because you have to, you know.
23.
That extra 3 years.
23 is not 20.
That's like 3 more stripes, right?
is, right.
Or wrinkles. I don't know which one it is. but-
Wrinkles.
So you've seen
Everything.
the
Up and down.
Yeah.
I crashed when it crashed, lost everything, which is cool because now I know how to explain to people how to build their credit, build their life back up.
Awesome.
Because I went through that crash like everybody else did. Bankruptcy, foreclosure, repo, you name it, been there, done that. So then I had to build everything back up.
That's a great experience, especially for a real estate agent to have that.
It
you
is.
know, most lenders, obviously, that's what we live it
Right.
day in, day out. But probably not too many real estate agents actually have that experience to
No.
impart.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I'm not ashamed of it. It's made me live my life better than we did back then. Right. So,
For sure.
you know, they took my Harley away.
I was going to say, did we learn anything?
Oh, we
from
learned
these times?
everything.
You know?
Everything.
I don't know.
Learned, no, you,
I don't know.
you
We were just-
absolutely learn.
We just read something about how the disposable income that we all once had
Right.
is no longer there, but yet people are still buying the stuff that, you know, we bought in 2003 and 4 and 5, like, you know, the last time it went
Right.
crazy.
Yeah.
You know,
It's nuts.
like, yeah, thankfully
It's true. Look around.
It is. It's insane.
it is.
I see more Lamborghinis on the road now than I've ever seen.
too.
It's like, really?
Yeah.
Who's got $300,000 to drop on an SUV?
Yeah. I'm convinced. Do you drive a Tesla?
I drive thank God. I drive a gas guzzling 4-door crew cab F-150.
Sweet. Fellow F-150.
There you go.
All right. Nice.
Boom. I'm convinced that we must have the highest per capita density of Tesla owners.
We have to.
I don't have any real data on that, but it's
like 1 out of 10 cars out there. Doesn't it seem like that?
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
And they're all bleep drivers. Notice I bleep myself there.
That's right.
Bleep myself.
That just saved me some time in post-production.
Exactly.
Thanks, Chris.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
I understand I understand the concept of this. No F-bombs.
So question for you on the 23 years of experience and war stripes on your face there.
Right.
How has interest rates affected your career over this time?
That's a great question, because here's my just beautiful answer for this. I had a conversation yesterday with a first-time homebuyer that was referred to me by his father. We were talking a little bit about interest rates, right? And he was him-hawing. I said, okay, wait a minute. We'll call him Dave. Do you have a credit card? He's like, I have 2. I said, okay, so you're willingly paying 25% in your credit card companies, right? Well, I don't pay anything. I said, do you have balance on your cards? He says, yeah. I said, then you're willingly paying 25% interest on credit cards. That's not really your money. You're just borrowing it and you have to pay it back. But you're going to hem-haw about paying 7% on a mortgage that, let's face it, within a year, maybe 2, things are going to trickle back down around the 4s, because once the election comes around, we all know everything's got to drop. So people are happy to vote. That'll be your time to capitalize, do a refi, and get out of that 7, 8%, whatever rate you have right now. So is it really that bad? Not really. Mm-hmm. And then I also add that my first mortgage interest rate was 8.375, and I was doing backflips.
Yeah.
Because that was low back then.
Yeah, we were thrilled. Our first mortgage was like 7, and we had a second mortgage, and that was at like 12.5.
There you go.
Yeah.
And we were happy.
Right.
We signed.
We had a house.
Right.
We were homeowners. We could do what we want with
and you're not throwing your money away on rent.
Yep.
That same person's paying $1,600 a month in rent.
That's 100% financing.
Right. Exactly. To the wrong person.
That's right.
You're not building your own wealth.
Yeah.
The other interesting thing that when you retire, most people's wealth, 83% of it is tied into the real estate. Did you know that?
That is good stuff.
I knew that it had to be a high number, but I did not have my hand on the actual number.
Yeah. See, that's one of the things that I think kind of separates me, is I'm not going to give you a CMA. I'm going to give you a wealth report. Let's see how much wealth you have. Right?
I like it.
See how much wealth you have, as opposed to, what the market's going to say. Because you can't look at comps now. Comps don't matter. Mm-hmm. You know, you can have a comp for a house that's, I don't know, I had one that was comped out at 565 and it sold for 450. Model match comp at 565. But the market didn't dictate 565. Mm-hmm. So we kept playing the price adjustment game because you had no choice.
Jeez.
Once we hit the 550, we got multiple offers.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yep. That's great.
They still made $270,000 since I sold to them. So
your customers love you. I mean, that's, that's pretty obvious.
Most of them. I know, because really, you don't always
get feedback out there.
But that's because the bad ones don't give you feedback. Because you don't ask for feedback. Because I mean, you got to face it. You're not going to click with everybody, right?
Right.
It's impossible.
Right.
I fired people. They fired me. That's just life, man. Mm-hmm. But I would say, on a whole, probably about 90% of the people that I work with retain, and we kind of develop friendships more than just client.
Yeah.
Because I'm not that. I'm not just, your number. I like, you saw, you have a little board out, a tongue twister. You have a thing on the framed wall in one of your rooms. You're not just a number.
Yes.
Yes.
Right? I love that. Because you're not.
Thank you.
You're not.
Thank you. Yeah.
People lose that in our business.
Yeah. We are highly focused on relationship building here. So.
And you should be.
Big time.
We like to talk in terms of how many families are we going to help, not how many units are we going to close.
Agreed. See,
you lose the importance of your work when you think of it that way.
Absolutely. I'm connections, not commissions.
Yeah, very good. That's
commissions come with the connections, but you got to have that connection in order to earn that commission.
Yep.
I got all kinds of cliches, man.
I love it.
But they're self-made cliches, so I'm not doing it for the team.
So your handle is the real estate guy, and that is trademarked.
It is trademarked.
Which is no easy feat. No. So kudos to that.
Thank you.
Where did that come about from?
So 22 years ago, I was doing an open house at the Nykus families, which is still clients to this day. I've actually sold houses to their kids, which blew my mind.
That's amazing.
Right. When she called me up, I'm like, I'm old now. Right.
Yep.
So I was leaving their house.
Like the legacy business.
Totally. So I was leaving their house one day off Power and Wrecker area, or Brown and Wrecker. Those are parallel. And everybody that came to the open house, I was wearing blue jeans and a black collar t-shirt. Mm-hmm. So after the third or fourth person came to the open house and started asking me who I was, I just started saying I'm the real estate guy. It's that stupid. Now, if I was smart enough 22 years ago, I would have trademarked the thing nationally. So the trademark is owned in Arizona for the real estate guy.
Okay.
And then my acronym, which is the RLS8 GUI, look on my shirt.
Yep. Okay. Yep. RLS8 guy.
Real estate guy.
Okay. Yep. Real estate guy.
Right. That's trademarked nationally. So I had somebody here mucking with my waters and kind of play.
I like that.
I don't know, playing off that acronym. So I was nice because I'm a nice guy. So I was like, you need to stop that. And they wouldn't listen. So I kind of reinforced it. They still wouldn't listen. So we sued them and they had to stop and change their entire branding and marketing.
Oh, man. Oh, wow.
But I did give them the opportunity to stop and they wouldn't. So everything. And then, of course, they slammed me and poked at me.
Yeah, but you know what? It's yours. You know, you took the time.
Came up with it.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yep.
It's on my license plate. I actually, true story. I parked in a parking lot.
I've seen this license plate.
Yes.
I can say I know this guy.
There you go. See, I dropped Jake off at he used my son, Marine, hoorah.
Thank you for his service.
Yeah, he's awesome. He's 21. He's in Okinawa. He just re-enlisted. He's going to be a drill instructor, which is pretty cool. So awesome. Very proud of him. Dropped him off in a parking lot because he was learning to play guitar, and I went next door or something, and I got a call on my phone. And the guy's like, "Hey, you drive a black truck?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "You the real estate guy?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, you're parked in a parking lot." I'm like, "How the heck do you know that?" Because I didn't have my truck wrapped at the time. He Googled my license plate.
What? Oh, no
Because
way.
it's the acronym. I hashtag everything. So if you put a hashtag in front of real estate guy.
Well, and it's a custom license plate.
Right.
Chances are.
Correct. But if you have a custom license plate that's not marketed.
Oh, right.
Right. So he typed in real estate guy, the acronym, on the Google machine, and all my stuff pops up.
Hilarious.
So then he got my number and called me. So I moved my truck because we were getting ready to set up for an outdoor concert. I'm like, well, dude, you should have blocked it off before.
Like, what am I supposed to do now?
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of trapped.
Yeah.
Like, hey, is this you? Yeah, I guess it's me.
So that was kind of fun. So then I learned.
There's no running. Yeah. When you have
Right.
those custom plates like that, you cannot hide.
No, you
Yeah.
can't. You got to be a very nice driver. You can't get irritated when the Teslas cut you off.
That's right. There's no road
just
rage
gotta
from
wave.
the real estate guy. You just got to wave.
Right.
All fingers.
Yes.
Yep.
Just keep your
that
windows.
sense of humor.
Yeah.
Right.
Nice dark windows.
Smile and wave.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Smile and
Yeah.
wave.
So how have you managed the stress of your career over these 23 plus years?
Well, I don't drink.
Okay.
So that's one thing that doesn't help manage that stress. Because like we mentioned earlier, I'm a little over 17 years, 9 months sober as of the 9th.
Awesome.
Let's come back to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Congrats.
So because I don't drink and so I don't do the happy hours and do any of that kind of stuff. Don't want to be in that environment. So the way I've dealt with the stress is essentially working out, running.
Okay.
Like if I'm irritated about something, I just go run.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you run a lot.
I do.
So that means you're training a lot for these.
I work out 17 times a week right now.
So are you
Holy cow.
active marathon?
Half marathon.
Half
I've yet to do a full marathon. I was going to do a full marathon in 19, but then COVID shut everything down.
So what is that for everybody listening and watching? 13 miles?
13.1 miles.
13.1
Yep,
miles.
13.1
Okay.
miles.
That was pretty close there.
You're good. That's good.
All right. And I don't run half marathons. I just,
You just
have
know.
that as a nugget in memory.
Right.
Just
Memory nugget. That's good
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
We started out, Nikki and I, my wife, call her the queen. We started out in 2014. I had neck surgery. I don't know if you see the scar.
okay. Mm-hmm. Yep.
It's Peyton Manning surgery. I can't throw like him, which I had to call BS on because I was told by Dr. God. That's another story. So she got me running. I think it was, that was 14. So 15-ish is when we kind of shifted our entire life and kind of changed our lifestyle, how we eat and, approach things. I tried not to burp there, so it may have come through as a belch. I apologize.
That's okay.
So
We're only human. We're only human.
right.
Post-production.
So that's where I kind of started running. So, there was probably about 6 months where she beat me.
Okay.
Now
Forget it. No.
she's trying.
And thankfully,
Right.
it's not a competition, right?
It's not.
It's not.
It's not because
It just kind of is.
Right. Because I
Yeah.
boomerang back. Like we ran, what did we do last weekend? We did Tempe Town Lake. I think we did 8 miles. So we parked at Tempe Marketplace, and it's kind of cool. There's a trail, if you don't know, up at Mesa Riverview where the Cubs play. Right. Behind that, there's a trail that goes all along that massive water wash.
Oh, yeah.
River bottom, which is trippy because Tempe Marketplace to Mesa Riverview, if you're running east and looking north, you can see the encampment.
Okay.
It's crazy. It's all these shacks,
Interesting.
pallet shacks and tents.
Interesting.
And it's nuts.
I can't say I've ever seen that.
I haven't either.
Go to Tempe Marketplace. Okay. Park in the back. You'll
Okay.
see the sidewalks.
Okay.
And then just go for a walk.
I've seen the sidewalks there.
Go for a walk.
Okay.
And just look north. Blow your mind.
Huh.
Mind-boggling.
Okay.
That's where this is totally off topic, but that's where the homeless are displaced.
Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Phoenix, they live in the streets,
Okay.
and they have shelters and stuff. Tempe has nothing for them at all. Mesa, which I'm doing later today, 4 times a month I go coordinate meal service for homeless at Paz de Cristo Community Center.
Awesome.
So I started that about 4 years ago. So I do that 4 times a month. The 4th day of the month is because I'm on their board now, which is kind of cool.
Wow.
But we feed 365 days a year. There's 10 of us that do the coordinating all year long. So that was so off topic.
No, that was amazing.
But yes, I started
This is
running.
great. Well, now we know even more.
Right.
This
Right.
is great.
Yeah.
Wow. So back to that whole story about like only the runners find all the dead bodies.
Only the runners find the dead bodies.
Not the walkers.
No,
Yep.
no, only the runners. Because when you're running, what are you doing? You're looking around, right? Like you have your headphones in, you're rocking out, and you're just looking around, which is how if I hadn't run along that path, you would never know there's homeless encampment north of that sidewalk along Tempe Marketplace to Riverview. I never knew
Nobody
it was
would
there.
know. I didn't
never
know it was there. I had no idea it was there.
Yeah.
Until I went running. When I went the Thursday before, I went Tempe Town Lake. The only the winter we had a couple weeks ago, that one day.
Yes.
That it was cold,
Yes.
rainy,
and rainy.
wet. Yeah.
Yep.
That's the day I picked to do a 2-hour training run.
Oh.
So
Fun.
I go from Tempe Marketplace. I went west up to the where the Tempe Center for the Arts is, crossed that bridge, and then went around down to Priest and came back around. Right.
Yep.
So from the pedestrian bridge in Tempe all the way to Priest, same concept. In that entire area, there's major homeless stuff going on, which is bizarre.
That is.
wild.
Yeah.
That's even more bizarre that that's how you found them. And it's
Running.
like, does anybody know that these people
they
are
have
out
to
there?
know.
I don't know.
They have to know.
I don't know.
They have
Well,
to,
if there's
didn't know.
There's that many of them. Somebody knows.
right? Yeah. We just brought this down a level.
Yeah, we really did. I'm all sad. It's Thanksgiving coming right around the corner.
is.
Jeez.
It is.
Chris.
Sorry.
So do you do a lot of training
I do.
running? Okay.
I do. I work out at Orange Theory Fitness 8 times a week. You
Okay.
familiar with Orange Theory Fitness?
Yes.
Okay. So I do. This is gonna. If you're familiar with it, you're gonna. I don't know how you.
You said 8 times a week.
Right, because
Okay, so
Monday,
that's-
Wednesday, and Friday I do back to back.
Okay.
So I start at Gilbert East at 8:45, 9:45. Then I drive to the Queen Creek location. Then work out there from 10:15 to 11:15.
Okay.
And then later that night I'll go walk with Nikki. And then Tuesday, Thursday I just do one Orange Theory.
That's all.
Yeah,
Just one. Just one.
Right. And
And
then
those are, what are those, like 30 minutes, 40
they're
minutes?
1 hour interval training.
Okay.
So you have weight room, you have a rower, and then you have a treadmill.
Okay.
Like today was this stupid workout.
I'm no stranger to the rower.
Yeah, the rower's awesome.
I'm no
It's a full
stranger
body
to it.
workout.
Yeah, it is.
But they call it the shot clock. The whole concept of Orange Theory is you get your heart rate up to a level to where you get into the orange zone.
Okay.
The orange zones mean you're burning calories, you're kicking up your metabolism. You get to leave 12 minutes in the orange zone, then you're going to continue after burning for 24 hours, right? So your metabolism keeps going and you keep burning, and that's what burns your fat. Anything in the green, orange, and red zone is good for you because that gets your everything pumped up and going. So today was one of those stupid things that you do these weird little 30-second exercises back to back to back, and then it was straight up interval training nonstop. So someone like me who we've all decided, myself and the trainers, that I've out fitnessed myself.
Okay.
At Orange Theory. So it takes me a
How's
lot.
that make you feel?
Well, it's good and bad because you go in there with the mindset you got to get to 12 points.
Okay.
I got 20 green points. I got one splat, which is orange. Right. So you're right.
So now you're kind of like, you can't. So you're competing in something you know you can't win.
Right, because every 20 workouts, they recalibrate your heart rate. The system does it. So what used to be getting me in the orange zone was 163 beats. Now I got to get to 194.
So that's interesting. So I go to F45.
Okay, same concept.
And I love it.
Except no treadmills.
No treadmills, but
Right.
the rowers, bikes, skiers.
Yeah. A lot of body weight stuff, right?
And a good amount of body weight stuff. A lot of hybrid.
Yeah.
A lot of hybrid, definitely some weights involved.
Sure.
It's all of the above, but
Right.
but they do it's a heart rate monitor that you have to wear.
Yep.
And it's the best I've been able to find out. The algorithm is based. You have to 45 is generally the point goal.
Okay.
And it's based on your heart rate, how long you're able to keep your heart rate in the proper zone.
In that zone. Okay.
Your average heart rate.
Yeah.
The older you are, the lower your heart rate has to be.
Right.
It seems to favor the older crowd.
Okay.
And if anybody at my gym is listening,
What are you saying, Brian?
I have gotten to a point, to be totally honest, where I don't actually wear the band because I can never get 45 points.
There's people at Orange Theory that don't wear their bands either because it psychs them out.
I'm going to fix my camera. Keep talking.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I couldn't sit down very long.
No, you're good.
So I made myself.
We adapt on the fly.
I made myself out of view. Now you're just seeing my neck below. I have one of those things on my desk that the desk doesn't rise, but I have a little thing on it that you click the button and it goes.
Oh, those are the coolest.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we had an interesting opportunity to tour this building just north of us here, the Liberty Mutual building.
Okay.
The entire thing
Really?
is vacant. Oh, like a ghost ship. Like
It's
you wouldn't.
weird.
Yeah, it's creepy. So we went in there, toured the whole facility. Same thing. I mean, brand spanking new. There's probably 700 of them.
Wow.
The electric, rising workstations, but the whole place brand new, build out and completely vacant.
Wow.
Yeah,
Where'd they go?
home apparently. I think they went home.
Mostly home. Mostly
I think they went
COVID.
home
Oh,
in
wow.
2021 and never came back.
Mostly remote, and they consolidated into some other building nearby.
Yeah.
But I think most of the people just never came back. And it's weird because we walk through and there's whiteboards with like sales meetings and
Right.
sales goals still on there they just must have just moved in when they moved out, because it was maybe less than a year
Wow.
from the time the building was
it's
done
brand new. I mean, the carpet's
when
brand new,
the
everything.
pandemic locked everybody down and sent everybody home. So
That's
it's
crazy.
wild.
Yeah,
And
it was.
Yeah. And they have at least through 2028.
Oh my.
And what did we figure out was their monthly nut?
It
on
was
that?
like it was like 102,000 square feet for sublease with a full blown built out restaurant downstairs. The whole thing.
and over 300,000 a month.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah, probably 300 ish.
That's a lot
Maybe a
of
little
loans
less.
to go over there.
You know, you know,
You got to kick it up a notch, guys.
seriously.
They are trying to sublease it. So
Yeah, I know.
I could.
anybody needs 102,000
Do
square.
you know anybody willing to sign a lease like that?
No.
Yeah. It's not me. Brian?
No.
Okay, good
Not
to
yet.
know.
No.
Okay.
My city lender's not big enough yet.
No.
No. How long's my city lender been around?
Well, that's a good question. So we were around from 2007 through 2013.
Okay.
And then we consolidated with a company out of California. So the brand, we just kind of put it on a shelf.
Okay.
And then we were part of two other bigger retail companies here in Arizona.
Yeah.
And then we just brought it back out of the shelf again. So
Right on. And it's just you two? It's you guys?
us
You all-
two plus five. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 7 of you.
Co-founders.
Yep.
Oh, right on.
Plus
Yeah,
5 more.
yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's your gig.
It's our gig.
Right on. Like,
Yeah.
like in the infancy stage?
Kind of still. We still
Yeah.
feel like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Right
not
on.
a bad thing. It's
I
actually
mean-
a great time to be in that phase.
Yeah.
If you're going to be in the phase.
Yeah.
But
But I mean, on one hand, we've been doing mortgage for so long. It's a slightly different format. It's a little different process being an independent broker versus
totally
branch of a retail company. But
Right.
It's been amazing and awesome so far.
In-house underwriting?
it's all outsourced anyway.
Okay. Well, that's
Yeah.
true.
So, I mean,
So
whether
you
you're,
Yeah.
But
whether
in-house
you're-
processing, Kim and
Okay.
Tress are amazing.
Cool.
At what they do.
Right on.
Yeah.
That's
it's been
good.
cool.
Right on.
But our team's been together for a long time. So,
So
yeah, it's
collectively with you two, how long have you been in the industry?
oh my gosh, between the two of us, 30 years.
Right on.
30 plus, yeah.
That's good. And then with the other 5, you got like 100 years experience?
Something like that.
Right on. Yeah, that's cool.
I don't want to age them that much.
So you saw the wave.
I like that.
You rode the
I
wave.
like that. Yeah, we've
Yes.
been around.
Yeah, it's all you,
For sure the 09 or the 07 to 09.
Yeah, depending on who you talk to,
Debacle.
right?
Yeah.
Because some people say 7, some people say 9.
Yeah.
You know, some people say 8.
But yeah, looking at, even rates historically, over the time I've been in the business, which is 19 years. I
Right.
mean, it's just, you can,
Yeah.
It's as high as I've ever seen.
it's the highest I've seen.
It is.
Yeah.
But it's not, I mean, my parents bought, in 1978 in California, and they paid 15% under Jimmy Carter. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not 12. It's not 13%. So it's like, yes, it's high, but we just got to recalibrate it and bring it back.
Life in general has gotten more expensive. So,
It has.
it makes it a little harder the affordability is a pressure on.
Right. It's skewed, but if that's that same kind of token, like you talk to the buyers and find out how many times they go out to eat a month.
Yeah, right.
And then you
How many Starbucks do you
right.
go
And then and speaking of Starbucks, these guys gave me a Starbucks gift card. So, how many gift cards have you spent this
Thirsty,
month?
huh?
Right. But see, that's the thing. Like I've had that conversation with first time home buyers that are scoffing at the payment. And I'm like, okay, how many times a month do you go out to eat? What do you mean? I'm like, okay, do you take your lunch to work?
Right.
And do you go out to dinner every night? Only like 4 or 5 times a week. Okay, let's do the math.
Is that all?
Right? Let's do the math.
It's not cheap.
It's
I mean,
crazy.
Yeah, you start going out to eat with 3, 4, 5 people.
Yeah.
It's
I had a mom,
crazy.
a single mom that did that with her 2 kids every night of the week. And it was a couple of years ago, and it was like $2,000 a month just out eating out.
Jeez.
I'm like, stop eating out.
Gotta stop.
Just
It's crazy.
stop.
Yeah.
I don't eat out. We very rarely eat out. I take my lunch everywhere I go. That because I'm stupid healthy and I have a really weird healthy lifestyle, but
There's nothing wrong
That's
with that.
good.
no.
So, Chris, this has not been a super easy real estate market. 2022
No.
has kind of handed
Yeah.
it to all of us.
It sucks.
Right?
Hate it.
Okay.
Tired of it.
But you've been doing it for 23 years.
I have.
How would you recommend a person that's on the fence on whether or not, hey, I don't even know if I want to renew my real estate license this year.
Don't.
Or I don't even know if I want to renew my loan officer license.
Loan officers stay intact. All the wannabe realtors just go away.
Okay.
All you new realtors go back to what you were doing. Stop.
Okay. So what
stop
about
mucking up
what about
waters.
the good agents?
Renew your license and write it out?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because we don't need 80,000 realtors in Arizona.
No, we
We
definitely
need about 30,000 like we used to have. Right?
Yes.
And that's the comfort zone. The other 50,000 just got on board
Let it
because they
go.
wanted to put a sign in the yard and be done with it. Right? Don't go down that tangent with me. I'm that guy
How
that
do
rips
you
it off like a
feel about
Band-Aid.
it?
I rip it off like a Band-Aid.
Man.
The first thing I tell my sellers is I'm not going to lie to you. If you don't like what I have to say, you can ask me to leave. But it's a waste of time lying to sellers. So, your house is worth this when it's really not.
Yeah.
So I'm the same way with anything else. Like there's a pro to being insanely honest, and there's a con to being insanely honest. So I walk that line.
That's okay though.
Not everybody likes it.
That's okay though.
But I'd rather rip it off like a Band-Aid than string it along for months.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right. So
I think there's a certain amount of directness that people appreciate.
agreed. Right.
Like especially when they're hiring you to do something that is something that they would really rather not have to try to do themselves.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
You kind of got to be direct with people.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it carries in all the other aspects of my life. So sometimes it doesn't come across very well.
How do you deal with the clients that, I mean, there's plenty of them out there, people
Sure.
that it's like they're bidding on a construction project. It's like they're just looking at the bids and you come in and you give them a realistic one and somebody else is telling them, yeah, why not? It's 25 grand, above, giving them a much more optimistic view. And they're like, well, yeah, that's, I'm going to go that way because they're telling me my home's worth a lot more.
It depends on for this market right now. If somebody comes in and tells, if I go talk to you, Jay, right? We go to you, I'm going to go list your house, Jay. I tell you it's worth 500,000, right? And then Brian shows up later and says it's worth 550. Then I'll think, well, Jay, do you want to trust Brian, who's obviously just wants to put a sign in your yard, or do you want to go off somebody who actually understands the market, understands what's going on? Because it's not about comps. Mm-hmm. Right now, it's like when people were overbidding, it wasn't
really
about comps.
not.
Right. When people were
really not
overbidding,
right
it wasn't about comps. There was what were they willing to pay to buy the house. Yeah. It's like an appraisal. The appraisal is good for the day it's written. It's what Joe Blow justifies for you that your borrower's borrowing to make sure it's viable, right? Mm-hmm. Same concept right now. It's not about comps. It's about what are you willing to sell it for versus what are they willing to pay for. Mm-hmm. I very rarely have anybody ask right now to run comps because I'm not offering full price.
It's changing too fast right now anyway. Yeah.
Right.
Well, and in a market like this, I think most people probably are realizing that they have to be a little bit more flexible and aggressive on their pricing to be able to sell the house.
Right.
And not be sitting there 6 months from now and still trying to
Correct.
sell it.
Even though our normal market time now is about 90 days.
Okay.
From what I'm seeing. And then you have the nuances where the first tagline is, sellers willing to give $10,000 towards buyer's cost to buy down points. How many points is that going to buy down? Lenders in the room.
Yeah, well, it's the 2-1 buy down is what's back.
Right.
That
I've heard
program
that.
is back,
right.
and it is legit, and it's something that the seller does have to pay for in its entirety, but it really is it really
puts real dollars into the buyer's pocket.
Okay.
But if you're talking about a permanent buy down, I mean, it depends on the loan amount. If it's a $400,000 loan, $10,000 is, you might not even be able to apply it all anyway because you can't exceed the total closing costs.
Correct.
Anyway. Right. But quarter point in the note rate.
Yeah. Exactly, which isn't going to have a dramatic effect.
Yeah.
Just don't eat out.
Yeah.
Stop eating out.
Here we are. We're back at that. We are back at that.
Learn how to use your money wisely.
Especially right now, I would absolutely think really carefully about buying it down permanently because rates are going to eventually come back down. And
they're not going to be 2s and 3s, right?
No,
but they're still going to come down.
4s and 5s in the next couple of years.
Sure.
You've lost all of that discount charge if you refinance it 2 years from now. So.
It's a ride out the storm, man.
Yeah.
Stop eating out.
Yeah, and if you're buying a primary home, for crying out loud, it's like you now have an opportunity where you can take your time.
Yep.
You can negotiate the deal.
Yep.
You don't have to leave your earnest deposit on the table for your inspection or your appraisal or all those kinds of things.
Yep.
And find the right home for you and your family.
Yeah, it's kind of cool because back when I first started, I could take the same person back to the same house a couple of times. Before we made an offer. Mm-hmm. And unless you're in $400,000 and less price point, you can go back time and time again, a couple times at least, and look at the same house and do comparative shopping because you'll find the one they love, but then they kind of step back. Well, wait a minute. Then we'll go out the next week and let's go look at that one again and compare it to these, and then that makes them feel more comfortable about what they're doing. And on a whole, everybody's looked at houses for years anyway, right? They're just now looking at it in person. So I've had people like, I can't make an offer on the first day out. Why not? How many houses have you looked at online in the last 6 months? Oh, I'm on there every day. Okay. So thousands of houses. You know what's out there. We're just opening the door finally. If you like this house, it checks all your boxes. Why not? Because it may be gone tomorrow. Oh, yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Are you finding people act on that?
With me, they do.
That's good. That's good.
But I listen to my clients, so I don't force them to do anything they don't want to do, but I will listen to what they're telling me what they want. So when I send their searches out, I don't set up the auto search. I do my searches and then I send them searches and I tell them, hey, I picked these out because of what you've told me. Mm-hmm. Right. So I'm actually engaging with them.
You're not letting
it's not artificial intelligence.
A machine do that for you.
Correct.
Wow.
So
that's an amazing concept.
Right. So when they see those, they're like, oh, okay. So they're excited to go see what I found for them because truly, if you listen to the people you work with, you're going to understand what they want. And then by understanding what they want, you can deliver what they want. You're not going to hit everything because it's impossible. Mm-hmm. Now it's a little bit more easier to kind of hit a ton of those check marks than it was 6 months ago because the inventory is so high. Mm-hmm. But on a whole, when I first got in the business, it was between 33 and 35,000 properties for sale. So now we're about 21,000. So I love this market as far as inventory is concerned.
This is great.
The weird thing is that the inventory is so far up, but the showings are so far down.
Interesting.
That house I told you about earlier, I had 14 showings in 53 days. And then when we dropped the price to $450, they went nuts. I had 7 showings over a weekend. And it was a move-in ready house. Nothing wrong with it. It had a small lot, it wasn't an old community, so, newerish in the last 15 years, but the lot size was 5,000 square feet. Which was a drag, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't like that kind of lot, but, I live on an acre. So, that's the footprint of my house.
But you're a runner. You have to have space.
I have to run around the house.
Run around.
Right. So, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
So you've been here 23 years. You came out
I've been here since 73.
Sorry, you've been a realtor for 23 years.
Correct.
Since 73.
Yeah.
Do you ever see yourself leaving Arizona?
No.
No.
I love it here. The summers are a drag.
Sure.
But it's only a drag for like 6 weeks.
But you can drive an hour and a half, 2 hours north and
Right, but
be
I
up
don't,
in
I
the
don't-
woods.
Yeah, but I don't like driving. I don't like, let me rephrase that. I don't like driving for personal stuff. I have no problem driving to sell you a house.
Okay.
I'll drive the surprise to sell you a house. But if I got to drive 2 hours up north to go running,
Pass.
we'll just run when the sun goes down, honey. Come on. You know.
I mean, my motivation is to beat the heat. So
Yeah.
and hop on my mountain bike. It's only
Right.
You can't ride. I mean, you got to be hitting
you
the trail at
can.
4 in the
yeah,
in the summertime.
You can. Yeah.
Can,
Yeah,
but-
you can, but should you? See, and I can't, the bike thing freaks me out because I can't control it. I'm a little bit of a control freak. Running, I can control. Like I've only fell twice in all my years running.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Riding a bike, it's that fear of if once you hit that rock, I call them snipers because you don't see them, you know, and then you're Peter Panning.
And then you're down.
And you're Peter Panning. You're Peter Panning. Yeah. And you can't control how you land, you know, I mean, a little bit, right?
Yeah.
But I'm yeah.
That's limited.
Yeah. It's kind of like doing triathlons and having to swim and tippy toe. Like, yeah, I don't think so.
You were talking earlier. I mean, it's like when you're running, you're moving along faster, so you have to pay more attention to what's coming and what's around
Right.
you, so you see more around you.
Sure.
It's totally the same with mountain biking, like especially in the daytime. If
Sure.
you're not night riding when you
Right.
really have to just focus ahead of you, but it's coming at you so fast,
coming
that,
fast,
that
yeah.
you have to be looking down the trail to see
Yeah.
what's coming. To
Okay.
not get sniped.
Okay.
But still it happens.
Yeah.
It still happens. But
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Well, you had a scenario, Brian, right, where you almost went over the handlebars, right?
Did you Peter Pan,
there have
Brian?
been a few. I've never Peter Pan.
Okay.
I've not had that happen yet.
Okay.
But it was like
Yeah,
endo.
knock on the
It was
wood.
like a-
Is this real wood or is it laminate?
It's a real one.
Okay. Just making sure.
So it counts.
Otherwise, we'd have to go find some roads to knock on.
This is Chris challenging my sense. He accused me of not having a sense of humor,
Well, yeah.
but maybe deservedly so.
Lighten up, Brian.
I'm trying to think. No,
That's the lesson from today.
I've definitely. I had one incident up at Fort Tuttle, thinking I could fly like the teenagers, and just came off a jump the wrong
Yeah.
angle, and oh shit, I'm not.
Yeah.
This isn't going to go well.
Yeah.
And came down on my handlebars and my front wheel, and
Did you talk soprano for a while?
ER check. No,
that's
it didn't
good.
get me there.
That's
but
good.
But did get you to the
it was
ER.
my first and so far only foray into severe rib injury,
Ow.
which really does suck. It's
Rib injuries do suck.
Not a joke.
I mean, you can't. Actually, I felt that it hurt a little.
No,
bit.
you can't. No.
Memory's bad.
Yeah.
Memory.
do that.
Can't breathe fully for a couple of weeks. I mean, it's
Yeah.
awful. But I don't know. I just try. I have 3 kids. I have a lot to live for, so I don't take huge chances out there.
That's good.
I don't feel like I need to. I love it
Anymore?
for the exercise. I love it for the it's positive emotional
Sure.
experience, and I get to do it with my sons, and so
We're done.
yeah.
How old are the kids?
They are 9, 13, and 15.
Oh, wow.
Now-
That's a fun
Now
group.
driving.
Oh, the one is right. Okay. That's a fun group.
Yeah, he's doing okay so far.
Right on.
I think my bar is set so much higher for him at this point because he wants to be a pilot and he's going to start training
Oh.
to fly an airplane in
Right
6
on.
months that I'm like, oh, it's a car.
Yeah.
Well, he's got this.
How hard can that be? He's going to fly an airplane.
Yeah. That's cool. Right on.
But,
So, Chris, you've done a bunch with video.
I have.
And this is really kind of how I found you.
Right.
Kind of through this process of.
You Googled video?
I did. I Googled video real estate guy, and then.
Did you really type in real estate guy?
No, I didn't.
I
But
was going to say, wow.
I just did that for effect. But
Right on.
Yeah. So video stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
you've gotten some pretty decent exposure over the years from doing
have.
video.
Yeah.
And you did a show that wasn't really on TV, but looked like it was on TV called Good News Arizona,
Yep.
which is what I saw. And
Right. Did you see the older episodes when I wore the wig? Or were you
No.
see the one with the hat?
No,
Okay.
no, just
Okay.
I went back
hat
too
or
far,
no hat.
but I
Yeah.
No, I didn't go back that far.
Okay. Yeah, the first few episodes I had a wig on. And the whole reason it came up was when the market crashed 7, 8, or 9, depending on who you talk to, I stopped watching the news because the news was wrong. Like it would say the market's so blah, blah, blah. But in the meantime, I could sell you a 4-bedroom house for $70,000. Right. The market wasn't bad.
That's how you look at it.
Right. It was a great market.
A lot of people.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, unfortunately, I was working with someone I call the Antichrist at the time. So we were selling HUD homes and we were doing 70, 80 HUD homes a year. For those of you who don't know what HUD Home is, it's a government foreclosed home.
And they had the $100 down program.
They did back then. $100 and $500.
It was amazing.
Yeah. So a HUD Home basically is...
We did a lot of those, actually.
Yeah. So the bank foreclosed on the house. They tried to sell it at auction, couldn't sell it at auction, so the bank turned around and sells it to the government. Back then, right, if it was a $300,000 house, HUD would put it on the market for $180. Mathematically, I'd get it for $150. So I started calling it buying a house right side up, right? Because everybody bought upside down, right? Short sales, et cetera. So in doing all that, we learned that you can get buyers into houses for $100 to $500, and it was a great thing to do because first time homebuyers, it's a great market. Media wasn't talking about any of that. They were just slamming it. So I stopped watching the news, like legitimately. So my entire news in the last decade or so is scrolling through Instagram and Facebook and seeing little snippets from Channel 3, AZ Family, stuff like that. So when COVID hit, they started all the nonsense again. I started seeing it. So when I had my radio show, Real Talk USA with the real estate guy, at the time my assistant, Margie, I brought her on to be my Robin Quivers to the Howard Stern, right?
Okay.
Not that we weren't liked, but just she made the show. Like I'll tell her to this day, like she made the show better than what I would have made it by myself because she was just a yin to my yang. It was just, we played off each other. It was fantastic. So when I had the idea for Good News Arizona, I called Dean, which is a friend of mine was a lender. I think he's still a lender, realtor/lender. He's going to medical school now. Hi, Dean. But we were polar opposites. He's a straight-laced, narrow. I'm not going to say narrow-minded. That was the wrong thing to name my
Dean. Hey, sorry, man. We're gonna try to redeem this here.
Right,
okay?
right. Salt of the earth. Like I have nothing but good things to say about Dean. But we were so opposite in everything. Straight-laced. Worst thing out of his mouth is fudge. Okay. So the fun thing is I wrote all the shows. So I would go in and it ended up having like a routine with it was about 5 to 10 items of Good News Arizona, which was nothing but good news. Like literally, I would scroll Facebook and Instagram, just find good news. I'd find good stories. I would take pictures of it, and I'd put it all together that way. Then I did rapid fire news, which is a real quick, I wanted to add as much good stuff, positive stuff like
fast.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
Rapid fire.
So rapid fire was do, right, real fast paced. He and I back and forth. Then we did the top 10. Then I started doing something stupid. It's called Live on Location.
Okay.
Right. And it was really stupid because they weren't live, but they were somewhere on location. So the first one was my friend Mark Montgomery that he filmed himself as a serial killer eating a bowl of cereal.
Okay. Oh, okay.
This is Mark Montgomery live on location. Back to you, Chris and Dean. That's how dumb it was. So these little bits in there, right, is what made it funny. So Dean would never read the script until we sat down at the table to record it.
Oh.
So I'd put the script in front of him, right? So sometimes he'd read it, sometimes he wouldn't. So all his reactions were genuine. It was authentic. It was, and the embarrassing moments were legit. Like when he'd apologize to his mom, he was apologizing to his mom because I had this straight-laced Mormon guy dropping these bombs that were just so out of his character.
That is awesome.
Right. So that's what kind of took it a little bit,
It's a cool idea. It was a really a cool idea,
Because the concept was
but to share the good news that,
right. And that was the
none
concept.
of us get it.
That was the concept and we did it Tuesdays at 1 for the simple fact that Mondays, everybody's inundated with the first day of work week. A lot of people stuck at home back then, right? So then by Tuesday afternoon, I figured, okay, everybody needs a break. So what started out as 5 minutes ended up being about 20 minutes long. Mm-hmm. Met all kinds of people, man. I met Greg the Hammer Valentine. We had Gene Simmons live on location, which is pretty cool.
That's cool.
Right. Awesome. Not many people can say that. Remember the movie A Christmas Story?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Scott that put the tongue on the pole.
Yes.
Yeah. He was on, Good News. He live on location with us. Eddie Munster.
Oh, nice. Right? Oh, that's cool. Very cool. Leatherface.
And this all came about because I met this guy at Asylum Records, Scott, who owns Asylum Records on Almost Cool in Elliott.
I think I was watching that episode. Yeah.
I always get that wrong.
And just for the record, this was not a flash in the pan.
No.
I mean, this was 100 plus episodes.
We did 106 episodes. I purposely wore my Arizona Rattlers gear because Arizona Rattlers is the winningest franchise in Arizona sports history.
Okay.
Awesome. 6 world championships.
Take that. Yep, we'll take it.
They crush everybody, right? So I purposely wore that because I thought, okay, what a better way to grow this thing organically than with people that wrap around and rally around this indoor football team, but it's that blue collar, hardworking lifestyle type person. So that created a mind of its own to where, you know, we started poking fun at Coach Guy, right? Because doing stuff like, hey, Coach Guy never calls us. We never called him, you know, he never calls us back. But we were acting like we were reaching out to him to come on the show. So finally he watched it one day. Somehow he got a hold of it, watched it. Then he messaged, I'll be on your show. Like, sweet.
That's awesome.
So that opened the door there. And then we opened the door to some behind the scenes guys at the Rattlers, you know, I don't know what you call it, Rattlers camp. So that just kind of floodgated all kinds of cool stuff that we were able to do with the Rattlers. And then Scott, being who he is with the Sound Records, he has just his hand in everything with just name a band. He went on tour with them like in his, in his lifetime. So opened the floodgate with all that kind of stuff. Wednesday Addams.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very cool.
There's so many.
All through him?
All through him.
That's amazing.
There's so many different people I met through him and just had them plug our show. It was ridiculous. He'd go somewhere and like, dude, do a plug. You know, he invited me to go.
Did you ever get to meet Alice Cooper?
I'm close. Michael Bruce.
Very good, yeah.
Which is the original guitar player for Alice Cooper. We did a show wrapped around him twice. The second time, love Michael Bruce to death because he dropped the fact that the entire original founding members of Alice Cooper group were getting back together and going on tour.
Oh, that's cool.
That show made it overseas because then my phone started getting lit up by people that were pissed off because Michael announced the reconnection of the entire band before Alice could and dropped the fact they're going to go on tour before Alice could. So I'm getting lit up that entire day. So I'm calling Michael, talking to his wife. I'm like, I'm getting destroyed, man. I don't want to get Michael in trouble. Got all these people lighting me up because what are you doing? What do you do? You can't do any of that. So end of the day, they all collectively in Michael Bruce's world said, you know, raise the middle finger and walk away. Just keep your thing intact. So we did, and so
nothing bad came of it.
Not on me, because you know I'm just this little guy. I'm just this little guy who just sat down to interview Michael Bruce. You know, and in a record store, and he just happened to bring up the fact that, hey, guess what? You know, we're the entire band.
He probably didn't even think anything of it. You know,
no, not at all. But so that was kind of fun.
That's cool.
Yeah. So a big range of things happened out of that, which was fantastic. So I had a blast doing it. Yeah, it was a fun show for sure.
But exposure, it got you exposed to a lot of people and a lot of people that know more people and more people. So that's really, really cool.
Yeah. I had one day, afternoon, I was sitting at a stoplight, somebody's laying on their horn, you know. So I finally look over and, you know, the roll down your window things, I roll in my window. I was like, dude, my truck was wrapped. Dude, I listened to you. Good News Arizona saved my life, man. It was the greatest thing during COVID. I look forward to it every week. Keep doing what you're doing. I was like, all right, man.
Hey, that's cool, though.
Yeah, it was neat. You know,
that's really cool.
It was neat. You don't think that's going to have that impact, you know.
You have no idea.
That's awesome.
I mean,
but it was fun.
We're kind of looking at some of the same stuff. So it's pretty fun.
Well, we all needed to hear from other humans.
Agreed.
When we were all quarantined. So
yeah, that was very cool. That was the biggest thing that sucked about that.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So that's Good News Arizona. 106 episodes. It was a blast.
So would you do it again? Sorry, Brian.
I would do it again if I could have somebody backing it because I paid for the whole thing.
Okay.
So, and as you know,
oh yes,
it's not the cheapest thing in the world to do.
No.
So, and we did it weekly. And
that's heavy duty.
Right.
Yeah.
So
heavy duty, lots of post-production.
Right. So I had to write, I had to pay for all the post-production. I had to pay for all the video content. I had, you know.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think I wrote everything except 3 episodes. I made Dean write some, one of which he did a Disney theme and I was singing the whole time, which was kind of fun.
Disney theme.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Disney songs, right? Which was fun, you know, which was fine. I've been in bands, so I wasn't, you know, I think he thought he was going to freak me out. I'm like, right on, let's do it, dude.
All right.
You know.
Wow.
We can show tune this. You know, that's part of why I have no issues with videos because I've done so much.
Yeah, you've done a ton. So
from an outwardly thing, you know?
It looks like now you're doing more educational style videos.
Yes, what I'm kind of turning to is the home buying process step by step.
Okay,
home buying, home selling, because the world is turning to videos. So they've said for the last decade.
Yeah,
right. Like my HUD videos from my son, we call the Arizona House Detective, still pop up.
Wow.
From 2008.
Wow.
Right.
Okay.
I still get calls every month for HUD homes. Of course, they're calling for Section 8 housing.
Yeah.
Because that's our political environment now.
Yep.
I'm not going to get political. But I have to explain to them, I'm sorry, I don't do that part of it. Because I don't do the
Well, what is there anyway? I mean,
it's Section 8 voucher rental,
although I guess there's a big new project, I guess, coming to Chandler.
But I don't deal with that aspect of it. I just sell them. But because of all the blogging and all the marketing and all the videos and stuff I did back then, I'm still relevant today in the HUD world. So, on a brighter side, if the market crashes again and HUD takes over like they did, I'm styling. I'm ready.
Yeah, you're ready.
Because it's still all there.
Yeah.
Yep.
So now it's just tweaking more towards real quick, minute or less for the most part, 30-second, 40-second stuff that as I get an initial introduction to a buyer, I'll send them
Easy.
Meet Chris Dunham video.
Yep.
This is who I am. 30 seconds, boom. You don't like
That's what they're watching anyway.
Yeah.
That's what everybody wants to see. So.
And then it's step by step.
stuff.
So this is why you get financing. This is why you do inspections. This is what happens after the inspection. This is, every single step along the way. And then as I do each transaction, oh, that's a video. Oh, that's a video.
Yep.
So it's real simple. I green screen it, send it to Hunter. He puts it together and there you go.
There you are.
Yeah.
Sweet.
It's great.
Yeah.
Well, Chris, it's been awesome.
It's been fun. Yeah.
Yeah. I appreciate you joining us today. And yeah, it's been a good time.
Good for the invite. Thank you.
know.
Enjoyed meeting you, Chris, for sure.
Yeah. You as well.
Yeah.
I'm going to take my mug home.
Best of luck for the real estate guy. How does everybody find you?
You can Google me, Chris Dunham, the real estate guy.
Okay.
And obviously
The hashtag.
the hashtag with the acronym, and then the cell, which is on the card. You have the card, so you post production.
the card?
Yeah.
We'll
definitely
push it up there.
We'll definitely have you plugged in the description.
Yeah.
So
And
we'll
the
have
cool-
links and everything for everybody to reach out.
And I just learned about QR codes,
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
They're great.
which is really cool. That goes
That's awesome.
I have a really cool client appreciation page that is just for clients. So I think that QR code goes on my website, but I have one just for that, which is another thing I think separates me from other realtors.
Very
Because
cool.
I do things behind the scene to take care of those, take care of me.
I've never heard
great.
anything like that. That's awesome.
Well, I'm the real estate guy.
He is the real estate
The
guy.
one and only real estate guy.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Trademark
Cool.
protected.
There you go. Valley wide.
All right. Well, thanks again, Chris.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for
Appreciate
having
your
me.
time, Chris.
Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. You guys have a great day.
Yep. You too.
All right. Till next time.
Okay. See you
Yeah.
later.